Hi, I'm Alison from Newcastle Speech Pathology, and I'm chatting again today with Rhiannon from Ability Focus Occupational Therapy, also here in Newcastle. So Rhiannon, as occupational therapists and speech pathologists, we often share clients, we work in together. One of the questions I often get asked is, should my child see an OT? So maybe you can give us a bit of a rundown about when we should be referring to occupational therapy.
Sure. I think the biggest thing to remember is if your child is having difficulties in any areas of their development, then that might be a nice time to touch base with an OT and see if it's an area that we need to help the child with. But more specifically, some key areas that we might help children would be in the preschool years. It might be their fine motor skills, so they're not able to hold a pencil or colour in or draw or sit at the table and engage in some of those fine motor tasks that they do at preschool. They're having difficulty concentrating on things, or once they get to school, the teacher might be reporting back to the parent that they're having a little bit of difficulty doing some activities in the classroom, and so they're all occupations that the child needs to engage in, and that would be a good time to touch base with us and see if we can help.
Excellent. So what would be the benefits of getting in early with some of these concerns?
Yes. All of the evidence is around early intervention. So the evidence shows us that the earlier we get in, the better the outcomes. And so early intervention is up to the age of 6 or 7. The beautiful purpose of getting in at that point is that children are sponges and they learn so beautifully at that age. And so if we can get them early, things are a lot easier to relearn or practice and become habitual for the child versus later on in primary school when habits or difficulties are very entrenched. So early intervention is key. And often the earlier we get in, it might not take us so long, or we don't have to work so intensely to get the outcomes that we want to get.
Okay, so a diagnosis of another condition is not actually necessary.
Not
it's
at
really
all.
just if there's a niggling thought about something that might not be quite right,
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
the time to get in there.
Absolutely, because then we can help that child in that moment so it doesn't become anything bigger, or it doesn't have flow-on effects. So sometimes we might see something as simple as our fine motor skills aren't that great, and we don't address that. We have difficulties with handwriting, then we become very slow at handwriting, then we start to notice that we're not as fast as the other children with handwriting, then we start to avoid handwriting, and then behaviours might come about. And so there's a flow-on effect if we don't address something really easy at the start when they're younger. It can turn into a bigger problem. So, but definitely don't need any diagnoses to get some help with things, just like us as adults don't need a diagnosis to get some help sometimes.
Excellent, thank you. That's fantastic advice, Rhiannon. So stay tuned for some more videos with specific tips and some more great information. Thanks for watching.